Well, anyway, guys, welcome to our next deep dive for Ashes of Creation. We're going to be doing lore, story arcs, and role playing. Just to kind of give you a heads up, so we're going to be doing these every week on Ashes of Creation, and we are booked all the way up until practically April of next year. So, yeah.
Brad has a schedule made.
I do. It's at least we just now know what's going on. I tell you what, this game is massive, a lot to it, and the longer we go, the more they add. We might have to relook at some of these things too. You never know. But yeah, I guess let's just get right into it for lore. I will say for me, lore is my number one practically on my list of why I play video games. Then music, and then gameplay, and then graphics, and so on and so forth. So, just because you're playing in a world that's evolving and changing, and the story needs to do the same thing. I think that's why World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV are so popular with their lore and stuff like that. What do you think, Missy? I guess before we start, what's your thoughts on lore for yourself?
Well, it's my raison d'etre. It's my reason for being. It's my reason for playing. If there was no story, it would just be go out there and beat the crap out of a whole bunch of people in a world with no purpose.
Yeah.
So lore is essential, and lore is... It's kind of taken the place of a novel for me. I used to read before there was all of this, and now I can actually immerse myself into a story instead of just reading and using my imagination. Now everybody would say, well, imagination's better, but it depends on what you like to do. I like to physically be there driving my storyline and driving my story at my own pace.
No, I would definitely agree with that. Games like my sister and even back with my mom and all stuff, like, what are you putting all this time into video games for? You should be reading books and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, you're playing books, you're going through these stories, and technically, if you're...
And there is a lot of reading in it too. There's tons of reading.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was like, technically, if you're sitting there reading every little quest, it's a lot of reading. Which Missy is going to be doing a lot of tonight. But
I won't be able to speak.
I don't know. I've even looked for videos, guys. Like I said, we're just going to be going off the wiki tonight with this. I've tried looking for, like I said, videos. I'll pull up some of the pictures as we go on this. There might be one video, but it's like one of the creation of the bear video, and it kind of goes into role playing and all that stuff. So maybe I'll pull that one up. But for the most part, I think we're just going to be going through the lore, story arc, and role playing for those who care about. And not saying like role playing in the sense of, just interactions between characters, but also, there's something like they actually going to have marriage in the system, an actual system for marriage. So yeah, anyways, we will get to that at the very end, but for now, Missy, I guess let's go ahead and start with the actual Phoenix, the logo. Like, what does the Ashes of Creation logo mean?
Well, the Ashes of Creation is a direct reference to the storyline. Without giving too much away, the Phoenix is going to be a persistent symbol throughout the first phase of the storyline, and the world that the players will be inhabiting is a long-lost world that has suffered devastating calamity. The Phoenix is the celestial avatar of the goddess of creation. Her sacrifice protected the people of Vera during the apocalypse.
Nice. Well, I guess, so like you said, there'll be different parts of the lore. So the origin story, the story of the fall, and the deliverance/return. I know as far as what I know is the story of deliverance and return is going to be kind of a little preview. So this Divine Gate, which is behind me, is where everyone escaped to you know, get away from the calamity that happened. But then that's also where we're going to be coming back into the world of Vera. So there's going to be, I think, 4 gates, so 4 starting areas, which I guess would mean, you know, if you're a human, there's 2 of them, so you'll start at a human starting area, an orc, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I guess Missy, take us away on We're Keeping.
All right. We're keeping lore very close to the chest, and the reason for that is because it is very rich. It is diverse. It will have applications outside of just the MMORPG. We intend to take it much further, but I want it to be something that the players get to reveal themselves. That's not just handed to them and then the experience is lost. They should feel when they're experiencing this that it relates to them on a personal level. It is about mythology and discovering what truths mythologies are talking about and finding out what really happened on this world so long ago. And that's part of the discovery process. And we want people to feel that throughout the game, not just in terms of lore, but in terms of the world itself.
Okay. And I guess little contents there. So the origin. All right. So where did all this begin? So, as you can tell, Pantheon of Gods. So I can give you a little breakdown, then we'll go into it. So the Pantheon of Gods, there's 10 of them. 7 of them were kind of the goody 2-shoes by the book, and 3 of them broke away and wanted to teach man certain things that they wouldn't know of, like just how I don't know, Missy, you have to help me out here with who was the god that shared fire with man from the Greek mythology? Was it a god? I think it was a god.
It wasn't Hades.
No. Archimedes? No, not Archimedes. Let's take a quick look, because I feel like it is kind of relating on kind of like where Stephen and his crew are getting kind of their lore.
Prometheus.
Prometheus?
Prometheus.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right, yeah. So practically there was a Prometheus, one of the 3 gods, and they were the ones that kind of...
He was a Titan.
Was he a Titan?
He was a Titan, yeah.
Oh.
Prometheus.
No.
He was punished so severely.
Yeah.
For Prometheus.
Well, like I said, I supposedly those 3 gods are teaching man, I guess, what they classify as essence, like how to wield or mess with essence. So, which made me think of the Dark Crystal as essence, you know. But anyway, it's enough. I guess if you want to start us off with the origin.
All right. The story of creation tells us of a race of beings known as the Ancients, created in the likeness of what was once the Ten. The Ten imbued all of their qualities into one race to have stewardship over all of creation. The power of the Ancients grew, and a rift drifted the Ten in how to accommodate their new creation. 3 of the 10 separated from the others and began to teach the Ancients the secrets of the essence. When the 7 learned of this, a great celestial battle ensued. Eons passed, and you watched as the fight continued within the celestial kingdom. Some say it was the fight that created the stars in heaven we see today. With every blow between the 10, a star was born. When the battle was complete, the others and the Ancients were banished by the 7 into the void. The 7 found the error of their ways and decided to split their qualities into 4 races instead of 1. And this is how the humans, elves, orcs, and dwarves came to be. You watch as the 7 created Vera and placed each of the races within their respective locations. As the story came to an end, a dark figure at a distance grew closer to you, until all you could see was the darkness. and you wake up in a sweat after a nightmare.
Well, there you go.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, so I guess going through this, like I said, the Pantheon of Gods. So kind of going with like the Greek mythology here in a way. So let's see here. The universe, the Pantheon of Gods was split. Some gods influence the corrupt side of beings that exist in the universe. It is possible through questing and player decision to join or worship those gods. So this is that religion that we were talking about last time with nodes and how it's going to play a part. You know, so if you're worshiping one of the seven, you know, the good gods, you know, then you're probably going to be kind of like on the righteous side. But then you could also worship the, you know, the bad gods, the void gods practically, and become a evil person. So, and I know there's no factions in this game. It will be factionless. But they said there definitely will be a way of kind of having factions in the way, but not really. So it's not going to be like Alliance or Horde. I almost feel like it's going to be, it's sounding almost kind of like Final Fantasy with the different grand companies. You know, you join them and you're messing with their story and you're interacting with them, but you're not, other than when you queue for PvP, you're not enemies practically. So, let's see here. So the Ancients and the Others are the evil gods who are the primary antagonists in the lore, who defiled and perverted all of creation. The Ancients were imbued with all of the traits of the gods, whereas the four parent races of Vera had those attributes spread across amongst them. So, as I said, it is possible for some storylines to relate to a darker evil path if a character should choose. If the Varian races were combined, they'd be the Ancients. So as far as that goes, we're, you know, the original ones, which I think, to be honest, almost makes me think that the Tolvar, well, the Tolvar technically aren't corrupted, right? They're just crossbreeding with lower races and other races for a long period of time. So I wonder if we actually will be.
If they're going to be evil.
No, I mean, it sounds like the Tolvar are going to be, you know, the remnants. Like it's almost going to be.
Well, it said they took the 7 traits, right, and spread them amongst 4 races.
Yeah. Well,
so there's probably a couple of traits that were left over.
Well, the Tolvar are those 4 and lesser races. So like, I don't know if there will be like hobbits in this of some sort or gnomes or whatever, but it'd be like if an elf and a gnome got it on for some reason. That would be a Tolvar, right? Or a dwarf and a human got it on, and that became a Tolvar. But the Tolvar themselves, I've even seen some of them almost look like lizard-ish. So, but they said they're going to be their own looks, their own identity, but they're also going to reflect the other races because there's a bunch of crossbreeding for thousands of, 1,000 years or whatever.
They're all going to look very unique.
Yeah, so that'll be really cool. So it says the gods in Ash's creation represent different aspects of the universe and feelings as well. So you have the goddess of love, goddess of creation, which is the phoenix, the representative of the phoenix. Goddess of fate, it looks like they call her Norlan. God of hope, Resna, and god of truth, Soul. Shoal, yeah. It says each god has a specific realm that they relate to in the world and its creation. So I wonder if that means, to me, that means that maybe there's temples that reflect, and it will reflect, it'll be themed after that, but it even says related to the world and its creation. So maybe there's a part of Vera that was created by the god of hope. and everything there just is hopeful or something. I don't know, bright and happy or something. We have a very rich, right? We have a very rich lore on the Pantheon of Gods, but it's something that I want to make sure players discover in game, not told about. So this is actually something. Pause it real quick, and then we'll let Missy kind of keep reading on here. This is something that WoW has a problem with, that you have these books that are normally like they lead into the next expansion, and this last book was, you know, it was lore, but it wasn't really that important of lore. But for instance, the lore where Garrosh is having the trial in Pandaria, which leads into Warlords of Draenor, there's a huge story in there that should have been in game somehow, because unless you read that, you're like, oh, we're going to Warlords. Oh, what happened? Because there's no connection. So I'm glad that Steven sees that and has heard that. And I even know Noble, the main lore guy in for World of Warcraft. You know, he says that, you know, there's a lot of these books and stuff that has so much lore outside the game that unless you read them, you never really truly know what's going on. You know, you have to go look for the lore. The lore is not just in front of you in the game. So that in itself is actually a very good thing. So you have to actually play the game to get the lore, you know.
Go figure.
Right. Let's see. And I guess I'll let Missy do. This is the 6 primary religions.
Yeah, so there are 6 primary religions as well as an underrealm religion. Religion is intended to be a motivator, not an aesthetic. Choosing a religion enables a player to walk a light or a dark path. We're talking about a pantheon here, not necessarily separate religions. They're all kind of offshoots of who is the better god or who is the god who identifies best with you. So we have the Orders of the Seven, who are a religious organization corresponding to the 7 grand temples of Vera. The Order of Hope is an alien human order based on the capital city of Ayla. Okay. The patron deity is Resna. The Order of Fate is a Kaivek orc order headquartered in the capital city of Ren. Patron deity is Norlin. The Order of Truth is a Pyrian elven order headquartered in the capital city of Amera. Patron deity is Shoal. Within the Temples of the Seven, there exist different levels of organizations that call on only the most devout followers to serve. Depending on the follower's skills, services could mean many things. For those among the followers who hold a certain set of skills, there are the Orders of the Seven. Each of the orders answers to a different hierarchy within the various grand temples of the 7 that are found throughout Vera.
So the way that they said that, Missy, so this is the capital city. So I wonder, if these capital cities is kind of where we come out of from the Divine Gate, or they're close by, of some sort. And I wonder if we rebuild those capital cities, or if those capital cities are just there.
They might be there because if you're a human character, then you have the capital city of Ayla. The patron deity is Resna.
But as you can tell from my picture right here, this was a capital city that was being destroyed. So I would almost think that you would come out into your capital city, and unless it's like things have been going on for a while.
Maybe that's where the castles are. Maybe the castles are there. Where the castles are?
I mean, maybe. Like I said, it'll be interesting. I mean, it would also be kind of cool, like, maybe, like, the capital cities start out as, like, default, like, a village or a town, right? And then they could be taken up to, like I said, it just depends, right? I mean, because...
Or you build them.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we'll find out. Yeah.
It shows right there, religious temple in a metropolis node.
Yeah.
So you obviously build a temple, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely like, I'm pretty sure like you will have a church or, you know, in some basis of form. Um,
I would assume that they said your metropolis will take on the look of the race that's most predominantly living there.
yeah.
So I'm thinking that the temple would as well. So if it's, 75% human, then you're going to have that, order of hope
Yeah.
there in your metropolis.
I mean, it'd be cool if we could interact with the capital cities of some sort. Like, I'm pretty sure that's going to be your starting hub. You know, like you're going to have a basic starting area for these 4 races, right? So,
Yeah.
actually 5 because the Tolvar. But I think the capital cities will be there generically, and then you'll leave the capital cities to go out into the world, and then that's where the node system really flourishes. But I have a feeling there's going to be like a node sized area where this capital city is, and maybe, you know, it's just kind of default. It's static. Those are static. You know, I don't know. We'll find out when the game comes out, right?
Yeah, because I don't know how the castle thing works, because they kind of seem to be off on their own. So maybe we start out popping out at the castles.
Yeah. Well, I know the castles are for guilds. Like that is a guild system. So I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
But
maybe we'll learn. If we're weeding through this, we'll learn.
Right, definitely. Yeah, needs to already be here, but like I said, still
a while yet.
Still some time. But anyway.